Restoring the Father's name Yahweh. Restoring the Messiah's name Yahshua. Re-establishing Torah covenant. Preparing the bride. The revealing of the sons of Elohim. Prophecy. The return of Melchizedek, the royal priesthood. Elijah's school of the prophets. The Way Ministries. A return to the Philadelphian spirit.
Revelation chapter 6. Now I saw when the Lamb, that is a lambkin male, opened one of the seals as stamped a mark of secrecy and genuineness, I heard one of the four living creatures saying with a voice, to articulate a disclosure like thunder, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a white horse. He who sat on it had a bow, and a crown, a wreath as a badge of royalty was given to him, and he went out and conquered and to conquer. And when he opened the second in time, place, and ranked seal, I heard the second living creature saying in a systematic discourse, "Come and see." Another horse, fiery red, that was flame-colored, went out, and it was granted to one who sat on it to take peace, prosperity, and rest from the earth, and that people should kill one another. And there was given to him a great fearful sword that is a judicial punishment. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales to join by a yoke into servitude, a law of obligation in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quart, that is a dry measure of wheat for a denarius, the equivalent of 10 asses, and 3 quarts, that is a dry measure of barley for a denarius, the equivalent of 10 asses, and do not harm as to be unjust or actively immoral socially or physically to the oil of the olives and the wine that is for a banquet." When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come, accompany me and see." So I looked, and behold, a pale green horse, and the name that has authority of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades, that is the unseen place of the departed souls that followed as a disciple with him. And power was given to them over a fourth of the earth to kill with sword, a saber, or any kind of weapon, with hunger, that is famine, with death, and by beasts that are dangerous and venomous of the earth. When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar a place of sacrifice of the souls, an inanimate breath, not alive, of those who had been slain as an animal sacrifice, slaughtered violently for the word that is the divine expression of Messiah, of Yahweh, who is the supreme divinity, and for the testimony which is a judicial witness which they held. And they cried out as a raven with a loud, fearful voice as a disclosure, saying in a systematic discourse, "How long, O Master, our husband, as absolute ruler, holy, sacred, and ceremonially consecrated and true, until you judge in a judicial decision for punishment and avenge with retaliation our blood that was shed on those who dwell on the earth?" Then a white robe, that is a long fitting gown as a mark of dignity, was given to each of them, and it was said to them that they should rest in their sleep a little while longer, which is a fixed special occasion, until both the number of their fellow servants that are co-slaves and their brethren who would be killed as they were was completed through execution of the task that was predicted. I looked, and when he had opened the sixth seal, behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun with its rays of light became black as sackcloth, which is from the Angora goat of hair, and the moon in its brilliancy became like blood. And the stars of heaven fell to the earth, as a fig tree drops by throwing violently its late, unripe, and out-of-season figs when it is shaken into a tremor with fear or concern by a mighty wind from the four corners of the earth. Then the sky receded and separated as a scroll when it is rolled and coiled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. And the kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men who abound with wealth, the commanders, a leader of 1,000 soldiers, the mighty men who are forcibly powerful, every slave in a state of subserviency, and every free man exempt from obligation to go at pleasure, hid as a covering to keep secret themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains. And said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb that is a lambkin male. For the great day of his wrath of violent passion for punishment has come, and who is able to stand?